Hi guys, and welcome to our last rhythm review before we go back in person. So today we're going to finish up our talk about rest, and then instead of having a drumming lesson today, we're going to be doing 2 drum alongs where I want you to try and follow along with the actual rhythms with the notes on the screen. So those will be in the next slides though, but let's talk about rest here. I'm really excited for you guys to kind of get that conclusion to our rhythm unit. Okay, so last week we talked about whole rest, which we know that coincide with whole notes, right? Whole note we know is 4 beats, and a whole rest we know is 4 beats as well, but it's 4 beats of silence. So this is 4 beats of sound, this is 4 beats of silence. And we know that this is a whole rest and not this because my hat, if I look at it as an upside down hat or my Mario pipe, my hat is upside down, so it's able to hold all of my notes. A whole note, a whole rest, and a hole in the hat, right? So whole rest, upside down hat, 4 beats of sound or silence. We also learned about a half rest. We know that a half note is worth 2 beats, correct? So a half rest is also worth 2 beats. 2 beats of sound, 2 beats of silence. We know that this is a half rest because the hole in the hat would be down here, so you can't really hold as many things down here. So this is a half rest. Half rest, half note. 2 beats of silence. The one that we're going to learn about today, it's kind of funky looking. It is, if you could guess, let's think about that. If we learned about a whole, a half, what's the next note that'd be slightly shorter? If you guess quarter note, you're right. So we know quarter note looks like this, and a quarter note is worth 1 beat because a quarter note is a quarter of a measure, and there's 4 beats in a measure, so a quarter is just 1. A quarter rest is this funky little symbol right here. It's basically a swoop. When I draw it on a board, I kind of draw it like a little backwards 3. It's not an easy note to draw because it's just a little swoop-de-loop I like to call it. So when I draw it, I just draw a little squiggle. Any composer that writes music, they're going to draw a little squiggle. That's how they're going to tell you that that is a quarter rest. So quarter note, quarter rest. And if you could guess, a quarter rest is just worth 1 beat of silence. So this is worth 1, or 1, if we were doing our drums, we would hit once, that's 1 beat, right? If we hit once and then stop, that would be a beat of rest. So quarter note, quarter rest. 1 beat of silence is our little squiggly line. So those are our rest notes, or our shh notes, or our quiet notes. Whole, 4 beats of silence, 2 beats of silence, and 1 beat of silence. All right. Awesome job, you guys. That was our quick review. Let's kind of look at our other notes just real quick, just to remind us. We already talked about whole notes, half notes, and quarter notes. I just want to remind you guys real quick that these are 1/8 notes, right? So that means that these are going to be 1-ands, or our level 2s when we play the music, right? So if you see these notes when you are doing your drum alongs in the next videos, you are going to make sure that you go slightly faster because you're going 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and, depending on how many 1/8 notes you need. So typically if it's just like this is just 2 1/8 notes, will be 1 and, instead of going 1 and, right? We know these are 1/8 notes, or level 2. And we know that these are 16th notes. Typically, we don't see 16th notes in our drum alongs that are for beginners just because they're so fast. But if you do see them, because Mrs. Young has not picked the music at the time she's recording this, 16th notes, remember, have 2 flags on them. We remember that they are worth a quarter of a note. So those are our pepperoni, pepperonis, 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 right? Or our 1 E and us, 2 E and us, 3 E and us, 4 E and us, right? So if we see these 16th notes, we're gonna kind of go into turbo mode with our pepperonis, right? So that is our review and our final rhythm lesson, music theory lesson for our virtual learning, hopefully for the rest of the year. So I will see you guys in our next videos, and I hope you guys have fun with the drum alongs. Bye.